Today on BC POV, I get scared.
Woo. Oh man!
I'm too slow for Yuka.
Oh, I'm too slow?
What can I say, honey?
And Antoine gets some kids to tow him in.
Yeah!
Well, our road trip continues. Last week we rode Camp Fortune just outside of Ottawa. We had a great time riding their gnarly trails, but with the road calling, we continued on. On the way, we stopped at a few bike parks in the Maritimes, and I posted a few raw clips of those. But for now, we continue down into America, headed for Killington Bike Park in Vermont. The main reason for this seemingly long drive is because we're meeting some friends. Antoine, who you've seen in last week's video, and his girlfriend Isabel. They've driven down from Montreal to ride, and they've suggested we meet here. We're meeting some more friends as well, but we'll get to them later. Without really knowing the layout of the park, we've gotten on the gondola.
Thank you.
But it wasn't really the best option. For one, it was really cold and windy at the top. Two, you've got to ride a gravel road for a while. And three, when you finally do get to a trail, it seems to be designed to get your feet, your butt, and your camera wet. But what we didn't know is that the park actually has 3 lifts, and taking the gondola isn't the best option. But as we descended, we eventually found some flow on a trail called Shreddy. And then something called snake bite.
Unnecessary bridge. Oh, drop. Go for it.
But the real goal is to get to the top of Snowshed Chair to meet some more friends.
It's so cold!
It is. You get warmer. How are you?
Good, how are you?
This is Elizabeth and James. You may have seen them in some of my other videos. You want a hug? Okay,
Yeah.
hug. We actually met them in Mexico, and they were happy to appear in that video, even if it included crashing on film.
You alright?
But with the whole crew together, we decided to head up and do a trail called Sideshow Bob, presumably named after the Simpsons character.
Nice trail.
The trail seemed to merge in and out of another called Steel Panther.
Woo. Oh man!
I didn't expect the trail to just drop away there. I guess kind of like a drop?
That drop!
Yeah, that's just weird, man.
I thought it was gonna be way different, then all of a sudden, whoa! The trail just disappeared under me. I was kind of surprised.
The rough terrain was proving to be too much for Antoine's hands, which is why we stopped there. For whatever reason, these trails really beat up on Antoine and I. We suffered from a ton of hand fatigue and had to take frequent breaks. I've never experienced this to this extent in Whistler. There must be something about the dirt or the terrain here that gives us the claw like that. But whatever the reason is, the trails are rough and fast in a way that my hands have never experienced before.
Yeah, you want to go that way.
Okay.
You want to go.
Oh man. I've never had my hands feel like that in a long time.
The mix of float and technical is weird. Eh?
Yeah.
And there's a super nice berm, then you're back into the.
But it's so fast.
And now we're back into the beautiful single track of Sideshow Bob. And I would say that this is Killington's strength. His blue single track trails just flow so well with plenty of berms you can just lean into.
Oh, this is pretty fun. I'm running through half Nelson and Squamish. Oh, my hands.
No, man.
think I need to speed up my rebound. Alright, sped up the rebound a little. Yeah, hopefully that helps a bit.
Speeding up your rebound can help in fast, rough terrain like this because it helps keep your wheels stay in contact with the ground. The same advice is good for brake bumps that you might see at other bike parks. And speaking of brake bumps, they don't really exist here for some reason.
Blue magic. This is their blue jump line, I guess. I'm gonna guess it's something like Crank It Up in Whistler. Oh, that bird flying right in front of me.
It's very much like Crank It Up in Whistler.
Oh yeah, sweet. Phew. Sped up the rebound on my fork. Hopefully that helps with the claw. Oh. Turning jump. I like those ones. Yeah. Sure. Hands, right?
Everything, my cardio.
Yeah, I'm impressed. It's pretty good.
Is it me or do you need to pedal on the way down? Yeah.
No, I don't really.
No?
I'm finding that I'm catching you. I don't know if you're braking or if it's...
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like my bike is slowing down. I don't know.
I can go first this time if you want.
Yeah, okay, I'll call you.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the difference was, but all day I was catching Antoine on the flow trails for some reason. Wheel size maybe? I'm on 29 and he's on 27.5. My only real criticism of the park is that the jump trails have long straight sections like this where the jumps are basically the same. It could be a little more interesting, I think. Wow, if these fall colors aren't beautiful, then I don't know what is. This section coming up is the only place I noticed brake bumps.
I guess I'm just not just used to it. So many jumps.
It's a lot, isn't it? It's pretty long. No lineup.
As we took the lift up, we saw some kids hitting a drop off to the right. They made it look good, so we thought we'd take a look. It turned out they were riding a double black trail called Goat Skull.
I'm kind of nervous to do it. Here he comes.
The drop may have been too much for me on this particular day, but for Antoine, it certainly was within his grasp.
Nice! That's perfect!
The trail turned out to be a lot like a downhill race course. Super wide and giving a ton of line options and rough. And of course with plenty of leaves covering all the important details. But eventually we caught up to the kids I mentioned earlier. They were working on another drop.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Nice. Not sure what speed exactly.
The kid in red wanted redemption, so they go back up. Antoine smells an opportunity.
Oh, he has the right speed though. Yeah! Woohoo! Yeah! Nice work!
It's hard to believe how good kids are riding these days. When I was a kid, we just had crappy hardtails with rim brakes. We were lucky to even have suspension then. Nowadays, kids get taken to these amazing bike parks by their mountain biking parents with full suspension bikes and disc brakes. What a time to be a Grom. And wouldn't you know it, there were more features they demoed for us lower down. That's the sound she makes. Oh! Whee!
That wasn't a beautiful drop.
It's kind of more like a jump.
Alright. Last section, I guess.
At this point, Elizabeth's hands had enough of this rough terrain and she decides to call it a day. Alright, have a good one. We'll see you soon. As for the rest of us, we still have a few more laps in us and we decide to do a trail called Rabbit Hole. It starts out as a technical black diamond. But soon after, it turns into a blue flow trail once you cross the road. It's fantastic from this point on.
Oh, now maybe it gets better. Oh, that's pretty. This is pretty good. That was pretty fun, eh?
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
With the rest of the folks checking out, for the last lap, Yuka and I ride Black Magic, an advanced jump line, kind of like A-Line in Whistler. I go first, with Yuka behind.
Sweet. Oh, nice berms. Like a step down. A little short on these.
Meanwhile, Yuka had really caught up to me.
They're pretty big.
The battery in my helmet camera died, so I pulled over to change it.
My helmet turned off.
I was scared of crashing into you.
I'm too slow?
What can I say, honey?
You should go first. Yep, I'm too slow for you, so you go first, okay?
Don't catch me up, okay?
Try not to.
Yeah.
I guess I was brake tracking the jumps too much for Yuka. She's catching me. I think she's doing great.
Oh, I jumped too much.
I'll certainly catch her though.
But after a while, she started to case a few jumps. Allowing me to catch up.
Faster! scares me. Good job.
I'm tired. Okay.
Good job. You're too slow for me.
Yeah, that one was kind of hard to clear. Okay, sorry.
It's often better to be the one following when it comes to jump trails. You know it worked for the person in front, giving you the confidence to let off the brakes a bit. But at the same time, Yuka's no slouch when it comes to jump lines. She took some classes last summer with the goal of getting better at jumping, and well, the results speak for themselves. As for the bike park here, I really enjoyed it. Those blue single track trails are really good. The jump lines aren't quite as interesting as Whistler, but still enjoyable, and they get you that airtime. And they're surprisingly long. The layout of the mountain is a little confusing with the 3 lifts, but after realizing the gondola is not the lift you want to take, all is well. Next week, we'll be riding some more fun stuff in Vermont, so stay tuned. But as always, thanks for watching, and stay gnarly.